if conservatives are talking about me, they're making money off of my name. So they're thanking me behind the screen. You're welcome. I'm shaking in every single orifice of my body. Oh my God, hi, it's so nice to meet you.
Oh, finally.
Oh my God, you're so gorgeous. Jesus Christ. Sasha Colby. I'm talking to Sasha Colby. Okay, hold on. Sorry, I'm good. I'm great. I'm very normal. How are things?
Life is great.
I love that for you.
Yeah, I'm having so much fun. It's Pride season.
Yes.
So we are kicking off Pride all over the place. What have you been up to?
I've been doing things. I'm trying to move on with what I am doing with my career, and I am trying a bunch of new things, which is very exciting for me. Obviously, modeling is like the main thing.
What was your favorite modeling experience to date?
I think Tomboy X. I did an underwear shoot with them. That was cool because before then, I was very a modest and demure person. Even when I was going to the beach, I would wear a shirt and pants. And now I don't. I will wear crop tops and stuff. After that, it kind of helps with my confidence. So, Sasha, what was your proudest moment on RuPaul's Drag Race, the television show?
Well, winning was my favorite part.
Hello.
I was very lucky to win 4 challenges my season. That was the most that season. And they were all for different things. I did one for interviewing.
Hello.
Someone, celebrity interview.
The is who I am. Straight people have no idea. Straight people have no idea who I am.
Proudest moment? I think it was Blame It on the Edit, the finale.
It looks really, really good, yeah.
It was so much fun.
Yeah.
And I just felt okay, I got through all the hard parts, the makeover and the roast and all those, ones that'll keep you anxious. And I was okay, this last challenge is something I do every day,
Yeah.
I dance and lip sync, so
yeah,
it felt good.
Well, I can imagine.
It really did. And RuPaul is super sweet and so
she
nice.
is?
Yeah, she's really
kind
sweet.
of scares me a little bit.
Yeah, I definitely have the fear of God.
She kind of, to me, has that kind of ethereal, otherworldly quality that you also kind of have.
Oh, thank you.
So it's kind of surprising to hear that, to be honest.
That she's down to earth.
Is she?
To me, but yet I also am otherworldly, so maybe my relatability is not the normal person. I know that you were just a cover girl for Teen Vogue. How did that feel?
That was honestly the most insane experience of my entire life. I mean, it was amazing. It obviously changed my life. The reception of it was so sweet. I received so many kind messages and so many hateful messages, which was also really funny.
It's really
so I
it's motivating when you get the hate.
Yeah, it's wow.
Yeah.
You're sad. The phrase, your favorite drag queen's favorite drag queen.
Yes.
What does it all mean?
It's so wild. We were at Meet the Queens, we were filming, we had already finished the show, so we kind of knew where we were lined up for the top 4, who we were. They were think of a catchphrase or something that you want to say that just kind of describes you. And I don't know where that came from. Probably from somewhere really snide and drag queen,
Yeah, but it's amazing.
And, if I love my daughter Carrie Colby.
Yes.
But if you ever heard of perfumes, the designer imposter perfumes, if you like Giorgio Armani, you'll love. Yeah, so that's if you like Carrie Colby, you would love Sasha Colby.
Yeah.
So that's your favorite drag queen's favorite drag queen. And now it's a life of its own. I just heard rappers saying your favorite rapper's favorite rapper.
Really?
I mean, Chappell said your favorite artist.
Obviously, yeah.
I mean, there was an animal at Disneyland that said your favorite hippo's favorite hippo. I was
So how does it feel having drag be this I don't know if mainstream is the right word, but mainstream adjacent phenomenon?
Drag has always been a mirror to pop culture.
Yes.
And we definitely still are, but the Venn diagrams just cross so much. And now I feel it's getting so mainstream, but I feel instead of us being a mirror to pop culture, now pop culture is mirroring us, and we're setting this the trends, and
I would agree.
The fandoms don't stop, so we have to give them more every time.
Yes.
Speaking of pop culture, and
yes.
You've been all over the place.
Have I?
You're definitely a viral sensation.
Oh God. I don't want to think about it.
For being yourself and for being unapologetically outspoken, because I have a hard time with my social media, I always think oh gosh, I can't get too sucked in. If I look at the good comments, then I have to be okay with the bad ones. And
Yeah.
my ego can't handle, so I just stay away from it. But
The bad ones give me life.
they keep you alive.
I
See,
think
that's
they're
Gen Z.
so funny.
I think
They're so funny. It's like, your life is so much sadder than mine, and yet you think you can come for me.
See, that's that Gen Z attitude that I wish I had as a poor millennial. I'm just like victimizing myself. But it's hard, right? How do you view your social media presence? Do you see it like as activism or as like your resume? Or
I view my social media presence as me doing what I feel like, and then people watch it sometimes, which I think is the most
purest form of what it should be.
it's the most accurate way to describe it. I
Most
have thoughts.
and unadulterated.
Yeah, I have thoughts. I have ideas, a budget of about $0, and I do things, and then people watch them, and sometimes they like them. And I think that's the philosophy you need to have.
Right, you do it for you. Yeah, and
Exactly.
whoever watches it should be so lucky.
Yeah, they should be.
I mean, it should. And I must say, like, with that idea of like how you not attack, but
I do attack.
how you attack social media and
people. On
yeah,
social
and
media.
the people and being a trans gaymist, myself, like I've been like up for fodder for the right wing, and it gets a little scary. But you're like just so resilient with it. Like you just go for it, you welcome it. What is that drive? What is it? Where is that from?
Well, drive of not giving a f. First of all, if conservatives are talking about me, they're making money off of my name. So they're thanking me behind the screen. You're welcome. Second of all, if they're talking about me, then they are free to talk about me. But I don't have to listen.
She just saved me like 10 of the past years in therapy. I could just remember that. God, I care about how people think of me.
But also, I get a lot of my confidence. This is going to sound like super cheesy or whatever. I do get it from drag.
Yeah.
And like watching drag, because I was really like anxious and shy and closed off in high school. I was basically like this like anxious femboy who was obsessed with languages and didn't go outside.
Sounds like me in high school.
Yeah.
Literally.
Watching like people like you and how do I make this not sound like I'm sucking up? Watching people like oh dear God. Honestly, it was kind of like life-changing. It kind of made me be like, oh, okay, it's okay to be confident in myself. Not giving a is not that hard after you've kind of been dragged across the coals. After you get dragged across like burning coals, being dragged across normal coals, it's a massage.
Yeah.
Someone put that in a quote book.
It's a massage.
It's a massage.
This is what happens when the trans trauma is so deep. We take even like mild abuse. Like it's better than nothing.
Oh dear God.
After having to deal with so many really heavy things, this just seems like a bit trivial. Because honestly, being somebody that's inspirational to you, yet still like in my own way has a lot of like self-esteem issues or trans like just dysphoria and like of the society. It's just so wild to see that I inspired you with like the facade I try to, my armor, and then that becomes like your actual like being, which is so cool, like how that transmutes. Like you don't have to put on the front, you're just you. And even though I couldn't like, I'm still trying to find
Girl,
it. It's so nice.
tearing up. I'm gonna ruin my mascara. So obviously you've been a public figure for much longer than the slightly less than 10 months that I've been. So like, has there ever been any moment that like really struggled with that sort of public facing side?
Honestly, just my being, just me being a trans person
Obviously.
that's in the spotlight. It welcomes everyone's opinion. Because honestly, I'm a Leo. I love the spotlight. I love attention. I welcome it. Like I'm like, come on, let's take a picture. Like,
Exactly.
Not all the time, but if
Yeah.
I look cute, then I can take a picture. But yeah, I never had like a really hard time with like media or like how you've been like with like literal politics being talked and thrown about your existence and things like that. Like I've never had to deal with it that deep, thank goodness. But the night's still young.
It will happen eventually.
It will, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Drag has been, first of all, the only profession I know.
Yeah.
Like I have not done anything else besides work at the Gap when I was like in high school.
Like as a cashier?
As like a folder cashier, all that stuff. But like I literally don't know how to do anything else. So I mean, I had to do drag. It just came so naturally. But it's been like my best friend for 25 years. It's been my therapist. It's saved my life like a few times. Just being able to find drag when I was a like a struggling kid who knew I was trans but didn't have any resources or examples of what like a trans person was, except like Tu Wong Fu. Because that was a trans story. Oh, you don't know Tu Wong Fu?
I don't know what that
movie?
is.
Oh,
is it good?
roll the clip.
Let's give it to him, girls.
I don't watch old movies.
It's an old movie. It's about like 3 drag queens going cross country. It's hilarious.
Oh, I've heard of this. Yeah, I know that.
But if you think about it, Tu Wong Fu is a trans story played by 3 straight men who are acting like drag queens. But no drag queen is driving cross country in full drag. That's a trans experience.
Yeah.
So in my head, I was like, oh, you gotta look like that. Until like I saw like my first like goddess drag performer. I was like 17, and that was the first like life-saving moment because I realized, oh, I could actually look and be like how I want to. Sign me up immediately. Drag helped me when I had to get out of, doing crystal meth, like getting a job offer at the Baton while I was high was insane, and it made me quit cold turkey actually.
Yeah,
I, like threw everything in the toilet.
Incredible.
And it's been just so personal to me, and to see it being so received now is amazing. But how has like a viewer or a trans woman, like how has drag affected your life?
It really has. It kind of like recontextualized my idea of gender expression, especially as someone who was like, I was figuring out my own queerness at the time. Well, not queerness. I was a femboy. I was figuring out the fact that I was actually a woman instead of a lonely femboy. It was kind of during that process when I was also figuring out my own trans identity, and it completely recontextualized my idea of gender expression, which I think was really helpful for me, especially because like not only was it okay in the terms of like, yes, being trans is like okay and it's a natural thing, obviously, but it also like completely changed my idea of like the need for gender expression. Like I think if drag was not something that I was a consistent spectator of, I would be much more insecure about my own femininity or lack thereof. Like you can be a trans woman and then also you can do drag. You can like wear suits, you can wear tuxedos, you could cross-dress as a trans woman with men's clothes. It's very fun.
I love a good oversized suit.
Yeah.
Trans woman.
Yeah, no, I love that.
You couldn't get me in a suit when I was like a little boy, but.
Yeah, no, exactly. I was the same way.
21. When I was 21, I was definitely not on the cover of Teen Vogue. I was literally high on meth at 21.
Oh, wow.
From like 19 to 23, I was fully addicted in Hawaii.
Goodness.
And Continental got me clean. I got to grow up at 23 having like my first job and first house and coming off of heavy addiction, which was a lot of like deep-rooted in like body issues and, gender dysphoria and not really feeling like I could be, the woman I see in myself. It was pretty scary, even being like trans. Like there was no gender marker change and, you had the M on your passport and your ID and you just kind of went through life hoping that you could just not be noticed. How does it feel to be a 21-year-old now in 2025?
I feel really grateful that it is obviously 2025. Obviously there is so much work to do regarding trans rights and the trans experience. And especially right now, we are kind of going backwards, which is great.
It's kind of like we're going back to when I was 21. Step back 20 years.
Yeah, no.
Hopefully not.
It's very important for everyone to know their queer history. I do feel so grateful to be able to benefit from all the work that was done by all the trans advocates and queer rights movements from before my time. I do feel like I'm just so eternally grateful for all the queer people who came before me, because it's very much like a standing on their shoulders type of thing. Like the reason we have all these trans people who are pretty much mainstream now, especially people like Hunter Schafer and Alex Consani, who was on my wall and also follows me on Instagram, which is a really weird dichotomy. But there is still so much, I feel like, work that needs to be done, especially with the intersectionality of transphobia and racism and representation.
When you know the patterns of the fall of an empire, you can kind of see what's going on. We just demand that we get treated equally.
Yeah.
And by default, we're activists.
Exactly.
And it's not always something we want to hold on to, and we want to always have to be the one. So yeah, it's time, especially in these times, to make sure we have good people around us.
Yes.
Right?
Very much so.
Yeah. Do you have chosen family? What's your tribe that you have around you?
I would say so, especially after I sort of became, I like to use the word notorious because I think it's much funnier and more aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah, I started calling myself goddess. You can start calling yourself notorious.
A lot of people who are in the trans community and were also famous or notorious or influential or whatever, a lot of them reached out, and I'm good friends. Yay. And I didn't expect to become so close to people who I sort of like used to engage with as a fan. It's kind of really strange to be on the other end of that. I've really gotten close with a lot of people in the trans community before my notoriety. I have this like really tight-knit circle of friends who are actually like online, but I do feel like online friendships are consistently like undervalued or underappreciated by those outside of them. It's like, no, I genuinely treasure these people like so much. And it's not like there's a like faceless profile. Like I know who they are, obviously.
But there's that level of like you can really be yourself to like with your online friends that you really would be like embarrassed to say like to your it just gives it a level of like security maybe. Yeah. And then you can like let down your guard for sure. I've a few.
I'm hopefully meeting some of them in real life. So if I get murdered, if I get murdered, play like Megan Thee Stallion on my funeral or something. But they've really helped me. You know what's funny is eventually they figured out, because there was this like paparazzi photo on like TMZ or something. Some of them started to connect the dots before I told them, especially after I made the Threads post that got me like viral or whatever.
I mean, the online, they're the CIA. They'll find out anything.
It's really funny because the range of reactions was, oh, I already knew, to you're with me, and literally would not believe me for like 2 hours after I explained everything. So yeah, they're all cool though. They were all
But
chill.
she's still like, love you for you. Have you had
They're also all gonna freak the out when they realize I'm talking to you.
Hi friends. Have you had like a good like group of friends growing up in high school or like in school? Like how was school for you?
High school, I was actually kind of like a loner. The tragic part is I only really like made friends with people in my high school after senior year ended. Because also I was in high school during COVID. Yeah.
What's that like?
It was kind of traumatizing and everything.
You had a cool vacation for a couple of weeks or?
It was a year we were doing online.
Wow.
I kind of loved it though. I was like, I don't have to talk to these
completely honest, like I could have stayed locked up for a little while longer. I was fine. I was working so much before. I was like, thank goodness.
So speaking of being a homebody, so what does that look like for you, especially in terms of like self-care?
And I'm a bit of an empath, and I can take on other people's energies. So sometimes I'll come home after like, you know, a bunch of trauma dumping and not know if I'm like sad or that's someone else's energy. So I'm like a big energy rinser. Like I love taking showers, and like water literally cleanses and like kind of calms me. So I do like a lot of like baths when I can. I'm like obsessed with like skincare. So I could just like pile on the 17-step Korean skincare and just like live my life in a hair mask. I'm also like a nerd. Like I like to watch like, just endless like facts or like trivia. I'm like obsessed with like civilization and world history.
No, same. Girl, I watch like a bunch of like videos about like geography, a bunch of different countries. Same. I love those videos.
Literally on my Google main page, it's like this map thing, and you can go from 300 BC till now and see all like how civilization changed.
Oh, that is so cool.
It is so cool.
Yeah.
Like growing up in Hawaii, we were just so colonized and couldn't really like explore being Hawaiian because of religion and stuff. But then when I got into it, I was just so fascinated how our king and queens really were just modeling themselves after this like colonization and like, this, you know, imperialism. Polynesian. I could literally nerd out on like YouTube things about, and I also watched this, I like this podcast called Noble Blood. It's like 30 minutes and they show all different histories from all different cultures, and she does a lot of like queer history.
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
It's so cool. I'll send you some.
Oh my God, you need to actually.
This is the best part of our interview.
No, I love this. This is crazy that we have something this in common.